despite all of the hate and heaviness and pressure and oppression and disrespect, I will remain hopeful. You know what I mean? I will smile and stand up proud to be who I am and how I look. And I think that to me, standing on the stage at Glastonbury is more of a political statement than being like, the world is fucked, the world is burning, you know? Because everyone knows that it is, because it's on fire. I don't need to tell them that.
It's about time that I learned my lesson. Yeah. It's about time that I burn my skin.
I'm good. I feel good. I feel tired, but good. You know, I think it's nice. It's nice to have like such big stuff going on around the release of an album, because otherwise it can feel a bit weird. Like you're just putting it out into the world and then that's it. You know. So it's nice to kind of feel like there's like something in the real world that's happening. Glastonbury for sure. You know, because that's like not online. You know, like online stuff. It doesn't really mean anything, you know what I mean? Like if I put my album out online, like people hear it, cool. But like to play it in front of people in the real world is like, there's a lot more at stake for me, you know, because I really engage with that, like with human beings in the real world. So yeah, but I think that's what makes it so special, is to be able to do some stuff that isn't online. In a way, I guess it's like there's a lot of like responsibility in a way, I guess, on this to kind of, on my last album was the first time I'd really realized like quite how transformative or meaningful it could be, you know, like to people's lives other than my own. So I think as much as there's pressure, I try and only to follow what is true for my life, you know, and true to me. I don't try and go into it going like, what can I do for other people? Because I think if you do that, you can kind of get lost. But yeah, I feel very lucky that this is kind of the way it went, because if it gives anybody like a glimmer of hope, that's like a nice thing to be able to give people. Oh, sorry. Man, even on the run of like talking about the album a bit, a few people have been like to me like, how do you justify being so hopeful in such negative times and blah blah. I think like, you know, if you look back through time, it's not like it's always been great. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like everyone before us has had like such amazing moments and we're the first people to live through quite harrowing times. The times are awful, you know, like in London, if you look at it that way. But I think it's so easy to be cynical and to find all the things that you don't like, all the people that you don't like, all the things that you feel negatively about, right? It's a lot more of an effort and challenge, you know, to step back out into the world and find the things that actually you do find hope in, or you do find beauty in, you know, and to put your focus in that. So I don't know, I just feel like I've been cynical for a lot of my life, you know, in a way, or definitely parts of it. And nothing positive has come from that, you know what I mean? And to have kids, I don't want them to be cynical. And I feel like they're alive, they've been born, and they're in this world for a reason, or they have some purpose in that, and I want them to feel the beauty that the world has, you know? And it's kind of given that to me. So yeah, I have hope because I have hope in my children, so I don't think it's delusional. I just think, yeah, more people need to catch up. Definitely, someone was talking to me about like political action the other day, and like, oh, what will you say and how will you stand up? And like, you know, like one of the most political like experiences for me growing up culturally was just seeing someone like Jimi Hendrix look the way he did, or Prince dressed the way he. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't always about like people standing up. Of course, these people did, and a lot of my heroes always will and have stood up, you know, and fought for what is right. Same way as me. Like when it's time to protest, I protest in the street. But like at this point in time, I feel like despite all of the hate and heaviness and pressure and oppression and disrespect, I will remain hopeful. You know what I mean? I will smile and stand up proud to be who I am and how I look. And I think that to me, standing on the stage at Glastonbury is more of a political statement than being like, the world is fucked, the world is burning, you know? Because everyone knows that it is, because it's on fire. I don't need to tell them that, but I need to tell them that like, you can keep going, because that's what they want for us, is for us to give up, you know? And I just can't do that.
Just like the sun, you know that I've been patient, hoping this life I'm holding
because they're kind and they want to help. And you grow up thinking that, like, as you get older, you think people like are so selfish and want things for themselves, but people don't start like that. You know what I mean? Like, I see my kids share every day with everyone, pretty much anything, you know, like, especially with each other. And the way that they look out for each other, the way that they're so thoughtful for your feelings, you know, they're watching you, trying to see how they can like take away your pain. And I think, yeah, to see that reminds you that actually like that's within us as well. I read a book called Humankind by a guy, I can't remember his name, like Rutger, I don't know his name. It's a beautiful book about human nature and actually how people are good. And I was trying to understand how, if people are so good, how can they do such bad things? And it kind of lines out a lot of it. So I would recommend reading it. Definitely, because they just all the time create, like they don't stop and they just throw things away, you know? They just move on. So I think it helps me not overthink it. But also like they don't have all of the like, they haven't learned how to create, but still they create, you know, like this painting there, that my son did that, you know what I mean? Like if that was in a gallery, someone might pay loads of money for that just because someone thought it was a big, you know, like a big deal. But no one taught him he didn't study art, he didn't study painting, he just like holds the brush and goes, you know? And it kind of shows that anyone can do it, which is cool, because if anyone can do it, like why are we taking it so serious, you know? It's not hard to do. Yeah, just to be free and not worry about it, you know, like people will have an opinion on it regardless, you know, if it's really easy to make, if it's really hard to make, people will say what they feel. I think the only thing I can control is the process. I can't control critical response. I can't control if people come to the show or what the crowd thinks or whatever. All I can control is like my enjoyment of it. So if I make that process hard as well, then the whole thing might be hard, you know, if people don't like it. So I try to make the creation of it special, you know, so that like through the rest of it I can survive, you know. It was easier for sure, by far, because no one was putting pressure on. I wasn't putting pressure on myself, you know? People don't usually put pressure on me, but I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I kind of managed to find a way to chill that out a little bit this time.
All I need, this is all I need. All I need, this is all I need. Everything I need, all I need, this is all I need. Yeah, it's all I need.
Yeah, I mean, all that, you know, like just I was listening to a lot of British music, you know, but like the stuff that's like quintessentially British, like not British music as in like UK rap or UK this or whatever, but like stuff that was born out of here, you know, and stuff that like I grew up listening to. So yeah, I guess I kind of went back to like the stuff that my mum used to listen in the car, you know, like a lot of rock music, indie music, progressive, psychedelic, jazz, guitar, you know, like solo with someone singing, just stuff that was really, yeah, I don't know, musical, it felt like. But yeah, it was a lot of different stuff, but this is all stuff I've always listened to. You know, I've always listened to Fontaines. Mm-hmm. Since they came out, I've always listened to the Smiths growing up, Elliott Smith, Bob Dylan, you know, like it's always been around me, Jimi Hendrix, whatever, like, it's just that I didn't feel comfortable to kind of express it until now. Now I am, you know, so it feels like a new first impression in a way. Probably because of the way I look and like what people expect from me, you know, like I go into wherever, you know, like a building, like early days of the label I was at, and it's like, oh, you make rap music, you should be here, you're a rapper, you should be working with these people. You know, I spent a lot of time with a lot of rappers, and like some of them are really awesome, but some of them I don't align with, you know, and I've always found it really hard to fit in, I guess, anywhere. And I think more and more I'm realizing that like it's okay not to fit in, you know, whereas when you're young you just want to fit in. I think I was just trying my best to like get by unnoticed. Now I think it's not that bad if someone notices. So yeah, precisely. I think that's it. There's just like an expectation of me to express myself in a certain way. And when you're young, like it's hard not to let that affect you, you know, if the whole world expects you to be, you know, people talk about it all the time, like if you're in class, like kids from certain demographics behave like they contribute more to a lesson if they're given the belief that they're going to, you know? Like if you treat like young black boys like they're gonna make mistakes and mess around, of course they're gonna mess around because you're telling them that, you know? You have to believe in them, instill in them that they're good, you know? Ready to learn, ready to be eloquent, ready to be expressive, you know? That was the point before, is like I feel like I'm not meant to do it. Like that's what people want you to feel like, you know? Like people look at me like, oh, you can't just stay where you are doing your thing on your little radio station and we'll do our big thing over here, you know? But fuck that, man. I just want to do it all. So yeah, we'll see. But to be honest, I feel like I don't really care that much or at all really what people have to say about this album, because I really love making it and I really love it. So, and the people around me really love it. And it's already kind of done its job for me, you know? It's brought so much joy into my home, into my car, into my friends' lives, that like, that's the point of making something. If you're a painter, you paint, you know, you paint your muse, you show it to them, they like it, you put it up on the wall, fine, you know? If it's in a gallery at some point and other people have an opinion, cool. But that's like so much further than like my plan for it, you know? Like it's almost done. When it comes out on Friday, my job is done, you know what I mean? My work here is finished. The Netherlands is maybe one of the best places I've ever played a show, I have to say. It's one of my favorite places to go. So what they can expect is for everyone in the band to be in a very good mood, because we're going to be in one of the best places ever. But yeah, can expect lightness, you know, like a celebration of the music, to see the music happen in front of your eyes in a magical way. And a lot of love from us, because we feel so appreciative. Like, I don't know why we sell so many tickets in the Netherlands, because it's unlike anywhere else for us, you know? Like when I walk the streets, I feel so much love. And I don't know what the fuck happened out there at some point for my music to get there. But I feel very grateful because it, you know, of all of the things and the places it's taken me, like to be out there is like a true joy for me, you know? It's like I wish that everyone could experience, because it's, yeah, you don't know how lucky you are. Culture, the people, the way you guys talk about children, your parks, the food,